Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm so happy to have you all here on this Monday morning. I hope you are enjoying. I slept with the windows open. No
Nice
air
and-
conditioner.
Nice and cool, wasn't
Nice
it?
and cool and quiet.
Fresh air.
Because without that air conditioner on, you can hear only the ambulances. It's lovely. It's a lovely city that we live in. 62 degrees. It's going up to 77 degrees. They are keeping an eye out on a tropical storm called Dorian that is down. It's strengthening, shall we say? It's down near, Trinidad and Tobago, St. George. The track is spinning north, so we'll keep our eye on that. I don't think up here in New York we have anything to worry about. Certainly not today. This week we're looking at high 70s, up to mid 80s, and then it's going to get hotter again Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So if you did want that extra beach weekend before we slide into sweaters and hot apple cider, I'm ready.
Not yet.
No?
No,
No.
I need some more time.
No, Michael was like, "Oh, this is terrible," when right before. But I'm like, long sleeves, I'm ready. Yay. Especially in the city. If I lived out where I was this week, out in New Jersey, I was down near Neptune, where our guest, our former regular guest, Bob Henley, lives. It's far. I give him props for coming all the way here from there to be on the show. And it was just quite nice. It's a dry community, not Neptune, but the Ocean Grove. They don't sell any liquor.
That means that there's a wet town right next door,
Exactly.
right? Yeah.
You can walk there in 10 minutes.
And stagger back.
Party. But you can leave, if you want it quiet at night, you can leave all the partiers on the other side of the river. It's nice. It's really great. All right, some news updates. At least 3 migrant children being held in detention centers have died of the flu. This comes in the wake of the recent reports that U.S. Customs and Border Protection is not planning to vaccinate the detained immigrant families. As winter approaches, there is a lot of talk back and forth about whether this is a positive, whether this is a negative. But reports suggest that children are being sexually abused. That's definitely a negative in some of those sites while in the care of the government. This comes as dozens of families that were separated at the U.S.-Mexico border prepare to sue the federal government, including several that say their young children were abused in federally funded foster care. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. But you knew this was happening. You can't just You can't just put a bunch of kids in all together with people who clearly dehumanize them and then expect them to be cared for lovingly. It's just don't add up. And in other news, billionaire businessman David Koch died on Friday. He was a mega donor for the GOP, along with his brother Charles, who has not yet died, funded right-wing causes like the Tea Party movement. The Koch network, you're laughing. Laugh out loud, please.
No,
Makes me feel
I don't mean to take such a solemn occasion, but
Is it solemn, though?
it's solemn, but
solemn
it
for
also
the
means
family.
that, for the family, but for everybody else, it should be some relief.
That's how I felt the world was slightly lighter. I mean, these guys were the titans of destroying our environment. The Amazon is still on fire, although we have some good news on that front as well. These guys were the architects of they bankrolled the effort to elect conservatives to Congress, to move the GOP right. That was their whole lives with all of that money. By the way, there are 2 other Koch brothers who you never hear of, so there were 4. I'm sorry for your loss. I don't think they really got along.
Were they kicking money in the way the others were?
No, they didn't. The 2, did you read that the 2 that were very wealthy got over on the other 2? So I'm sure they were still wealthy. I don't know. I didn't bean count their money, but yeah, the evil brothers were winning. So hopefully, maybe, I'm looking for signs in the stars. Is the death of this one brother the turning point in maybe we're going toward positive things? Who knows? Anyway, David Koch was also a major donator to the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center and a patron of arts organizations. You can see his name, like the Trump name, splattered all over
everything.
Beautiful arts organizations. We need someone richer to come up and give something else, and then they'll take that name down. And you can call in and tell me if you think it's disrespectful or fun. 212-209-2877. That's our number. Okay, what'd you do this weekend, King?
Well, to start off,
I know you were out of town, and then you came back.
Oh, okay, when I came
Yeah.
back. Well, I went to the home gathering for a college classmate who was an activist during our early formative years, and it was in a small North Carolina town, And so everybody came out, and I learned all about these family roots, things that don't happen up north because everybody's so spread out. So that was a really nice thing.
That's nice that you say that, because activism is it is a family. It does create a family when everyone is working toward a shared goal.
And then the stories of the old Southern discrimination. So the grandfather had a lot of potential as an engineer, and the person who was in charge of giving the state engineering licensing test wouldn't let him take the test because he was black. And when that guy took sick, a more sympathetic person slipped him into the men's room so that he could take the test in a stall and become certified as an engineer for the state.
This is the next Hidden Figures movie.
Let's
write that down.
That's what was used
here?
in the eulogy. The minister said that he was one of the hidden figures.
We should make, but then it wouldn't have the double entendre of the woman's figure. So
Right.
no, Hollywood wouldn't care.
No. But it's a great story.
That's a fabulous
So
story.
that was the
and
beginning.
then you slid back here.
Yeah, so
and
I came.
instead of going home, tell the people.
I came back into town and found out that some of the activists were still at Hudson Yards protesting the CNN town hall that de Blasio was featured in.
And since you only travel with a carry-on bag, but always have your camera and recording equipment on you, just in case.
I took off.
You went right down there.
I went right down there, and they were still outside, and so we had a chance to catch up with two of the members of the Justice League, which is an organization that's been dealing with criminal and juvenile justice and has been working on the hashtag Fire Pantaleo campaign with a bunch of other groups. So I got two folks who we're going to hear from. The first one we're going to hear from is Luis Hernandez, who is a high school senior who tells his story about trying to get in to the town hall.
All of my questions are framed around police brutality, and I truthfully believe that CNN and whoever else was choosing the candidates to come inside were trying to avoid that questioning, because they're not ready for what's to come. They're not ready for the pressure that the people have put on Mayor Bill de Blasio, and they keep blindly supporting his candidacy for president. Meanwhile, he still isn't doing his job here in New York City as the mayor, and so we're here demanding that he does his job as a mayor, and that he serves and protects his city as he claimed he was going to do when he sworn.
At the beginning of that clip, he was saying that he worked on police brutality issues. It was a little low, so we just want to repeat that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And then you have another.
And then apologize for a little bit of windiness there. It was beautiful
You
day
could hear it was
outside
from the
of Hudson
politicians
Yards.
blowing the wind right out the doors. Just destroyed the microphone.
And the next one is Julianne Hoffenberg, who is also with the Justice League, and she got in.
He was tooting his own horn about progress, about body cameras, and about, kept saying there will never be another Eric Garner death. I had to remind him that there have been other Eric Garner deaths, and other deaths since Eric Garner, and also that there are still 4 officers that have to lose their job for the death and cover-up of Eric Garner.
And so
I got up and I said, what about Lieutenant Bannon? What about Officer Ramos? What about Officer Furlani? What about Officer D'Amico? What about those 4 officers who helped kill Eric Garner and helped cover up his death, and they still have their job?
Yeah, what about them? And so what happened? She got dragged out with a bag on her head?
She says that she felt a tap on her shoulder, and she thought it was the security, but it was somebody else telling her thank you. But right after that, the security got there.
It was the security tap.
Yeah,
got
and then
that
they escorted her out.
Yeah, they're pretty.
They took her picture and told her, "Don't come back
It's
again."
not a big surprise. I mean, those they were young people, right? So they still maybe believe in democracy.
Well, no, actually, she's a pretty prominent person who's had a background in theater as
wonderful.
a background producer and film and television.
It's just
I
the
looked her up.
shock
I was blown away.
Sometimes the shock that you're not going to get allowed into a CNN town hall is, I'm like, why are we shocked? This is
Well,
you need to listen to some WBAI a little bit.
Well, unfortunately, the dynamic is that the older white woman gets in, and the younger Latinx guy, Luis, doesn't get in. So.
Yeah. Also, not too surprising. We have we're gonna switch over topics. We've been talking about what's happening in Newark. It's our new Flint, which is a terrible thing for Newark.